Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For today, our group will present about Kitab Al-Jami' lil Ahkam Al-Quran, Tafsir Al-Qurtubi. Our group members to Qamu Minal Faiz Zuhdi bin Muhammad NASIR, Muhammad AZAMUDDEN bin SHAHARUDDIN, and Muhammad FARID bin Abu HASAN. Our content in this slideshow is about first introduction, second one biography of the author, the third one objective, fourth one requirement and methodology writing, next tafsir category, source of interpretation, second last one choices chapter, and the last advantages. We go through the introduction first. A review of the epistemology of Al-Qurtubi Tafsir is very important or very famous. This is to determine how the origins, sources, methods, way, and steps are taken by the author. As comprehensive tafsir which fit pattern, this work contributes information and relatively different approach in which the author is far from fanaticism sects or fanaticism to one mazhab only and being prejudiced to another mazhab. He uses various arguments of the secular scholars, then he chooses a strong one according to the Mufassir, which descriptive analytic study. This paper finds that Al-Qurtubi epistemology, based on the combination of the bil-ma'sur and bil-ma'qul, or in other words, a combination of textual and contextual, which is to express many perspectives before it has been chosen by the Al-Qurtubi as the truth, without fanaticism, again embrace mazhab. Based on the review of his resume, this paper proved that the interpretation of Al-Qurtubi is a representation in which the author associates and responds to the problems that happened at that era or at that time, and giving the answer based on the situation at that era. This interpretation is also known as interpretation of Al-Qurtubi, or known as interpretation Al-Jami' lil Ahkam Al-Quran. The interpretation heroes are many influenced by the scriptures earlier scholars' books such as like Ibn Atiyah, Abu Ja'far al-Nuhaz, Al-Mawardi, and Abu Bakr bin al-Arabiyan. The next slide is about biography of the author. He is Muhammad ibn Ahmad ibn Abu Bakr ibn Farah al-Ansari al-Khazraji al-Andalusi, Abu Abdullah al-Qurtubi. Abu Abdullah was his kunya. Al-Ansari is a noun of ascription showing his lineage was traceable back to the Madinan Ansar, and al-Khazraji that is specifically connected him genealogically to the Khazariyah. As all will know that the Madinah have two famous group, uh, which is Tuqamu min al-Aus wal Khazraj. And Al-Qurtubi was traceable from the family of Al-Khazraji. From his tafsir, it can be assumed he was born between 580 and 595 after Hijrah. His father was a farmer and died during a Spanish attack in 1230. During his youth, he contributed or helping his family by carrying clay for use in potteries. He finished his education in Cordoba after Cordoba attack. After the Cordoba fall in 1236 by King Ferdinand III of Castile, he left for Alexandria, where he studied hadith and tafsir. He then passed to Cairo, Masir, and settled in Munya Abil Qusayb, where he spent the rest of his life. Known for his modesty and humble lifestyle at that place, he was buried in Munya Abil Qusayb, Egypt in 1273. The next slide is about requirement and methodology of writing. Each of the scholars' interpretation have their own way or their own method of how to expressing their understanding in interpretation of Quranic verse or Quranic ayah. And we also know that there are two kinds of interpretations. The first one, interpretation of the bil maksur, that is to interpret the Quranic ayah by using Quranic ayatu, or by the hadith or the words of the sahabat that are qualified to make those words, is considered as the interpretation of the bil maksur. The second one is interpretation of bil aroi, which is to interpret the Quranic ayah using source other than those used in the interpretation of bil maksur. And under these types of interpretation, there are several fractions, including the Quranic interpretation, which is a fixed discussion. And under this type lies the great Tafsir book of interpretation named of Al-Jami lil Ahkam Al-Quran, which means who gathers the laws of the Quran. Imam Al-Qurtubi contains all kind of knowledge and laws of the Quran, such as Nahu, Qiraat, poetry Arabs, and hadith of the Prophet. But he focused more on the discussion of fiqh, the scholars, or the view of the scholars, and diligently reasoning with manners and wisdom, and he promoted those opinions without prejudice to any mazhab. In the Muqaddimah of his book of interpretation, he describes in detail his method or manhaj in the writing of this interpretation of the tafsir. Number one, relating a word to its owner and a hadith to its creator. This is because he believed that among the benefits or among the barakah of the knowledge is to rely on his words. And he said that the most of the hadith in the books of fiqh and interpretation come in a fuzzy form, which is we didn't know the source and difficult for the scholars to know the legal status of the hadith. Number two, he also include many stories and scholars and historian, except some of the stories that cannot be discarded, cannot be thrown away and need to be told to explain the Quranic ayah. And number three, explain the ayatul hukum of the interpreting the meanings, guiding the learners to the need of the verse of the ayah and combine the ayah that have one or two laws. Number four, include other discussions such as asbabul ayah, qiraat, and arab, the meaning of difficult to understand words, and cite Arabic poem as an amplifier field in language discussion. And the last one, if the ayah that is interpreted is not a sentence of ayatul hukum, then he will mention the interpretation and conclusion of that ayah.
So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Azam. So I'm gonna talk about the methodology of Imam Al-Qurtubi Tafsir. So he began writing this interpretation with the introduction of additional chapters and clauses, which begins with the chapter on the benefit of the Quran. Second, the method of reading it, the benefit of learning, reading, and listening to his verse. He also uh, want we to practice with him, and he also give guidance how to practice with him in his tafsir. He also encourage his followers and teach them, and uh, he want to keep his people from here. So there is advice to his people, to his reader uh, in his tafsir in the beginning of the interpretation. In addition, he also provides chapters on the importance of the honor and glory of the Quran and the need to explain the Quran with the Sunnah. How important to explain the Quran with the Sunnah. Event of the Quran, which is the nuzul of the Quran, surah arrangement, verse, line, and section. So all of these topics, they all have connection between each other, and the way how to we understand the Quran. It also included discussion on the Quran that many scholars and others have not mentioned. So, uh, from this, we can see the special, how special the tafsir from the other tafsir, because Imam Qurtubi provides something more and new than the other scholars, which is like a discussion on the Quran. Alright. So after we talk about the introduction, Imam Al-Qurtubi Tafsir, he began his interpretation about isti'azah, which has 12 discussions of issues related to its meaning, uh, its advantage and sanction in the aspect of qira'at, prayer, and the other thing. Uh, we can see the we can see in the example in the slide, when we want to talk about isti'azah, uh, we will say al-qawl fil isti'azah, and when we want to talk about the discussion and the mas'alah in the isti'azah, we will say in his kitab like وَفِيهَا إِثْنَتَا عَشْرَةَ مَسْأَلَةً. Alright. Later followed by discussion about basmalah, which there are 28 discussion. Then he start with Surah Al-Fatiha until An-Nas. So from this we can see the arrangement in this tafsir, how Imam Al-Qurtubi arranged this tafsir. Start with the introduction, which is there is the benefits and so on, and then isti'azah, and then Bismillah, and then Al-Fatiha until An-Nas. So we can see the arrangement. So after that, he put into specific chapters according to the issues in the chapter that are debate in their interpretation, and the number of issues like I mentioned it before, the debates that exist except in Surah Al-Baqarah and At-Tawbah, because they start with number of issues without chapters. The reason, I don't know why. I think because we want to write like that. So that's the most reasonable answer for me. He also began every interpretation of the verse related to the words of Qawluhu Ta'ala in this tafsir. After that, he also had a discussion about the name of the surah and the number of verses contained in the surah that he want to interpret. And then we will explain the nuzul ayah or surah or advantage in its interpretation before entering into the problem of it. So basically, you will talk about the basic thing first. Example, the name of the surah and number of verse, the, the nuzul, before entering into the problem of it. So we can see the example in the red line. There is a discussion about how many ayah in Al-Fatiha. So some of them said 7 ayah, and there is scholar said there is 6 only ayah. And Al-Qurtubi will mention the better one or opinion. Occasionally, he also places Quranic verse in group and one by one. Okay. And then when he write opinions of Maliki and his followers, he would use the word ulama'ina and ashabuna. You can see in the red line ulama. So that word are the sign of Maliki and his followers' opinion. the signs, ulama'ina and asharina. Okay. After that, there are discussion about status of hadith like al-mujarrad wa ta'dil, asal wal mansukh, and there are discussion about language like nahu sarf, Israeliyat themes, and qira'at. So you can see the example in the slide about the nahu example. يجوز رفع والنسب في رب. You can read by yourself. And when you want to use his own opinion in a discussion, he will use the word kultu. So the word of kultu is the sign when you want to use his own opinions in a discussion. And he refrain from focusing too much on the verse that are related to matters that are obscure about the nature of Allah, such as the discussion about hand of Allah, Arash Allah, and so on. You know that thing. Alright. So after that, we will talk about Tafsir category in Jami, the Ahkam Al-Quran. Basically, we will talk about Tafsir category. So number one is Tafsir Tahlili. What is Tafsir Tahlili? Basically, Tafsir Tahlili is Tafsir that interpret Al-Quran with detail from ayah to ayah, from surah to surah. And it also study Al-Quran from all aspect, including its meaning. And oftenly Tafsir Tahlili used than the other tafsir, more often used than the other tafsir. Right, number two, tafsir fiqh. We interpret some ayah with, with fiqh interpretation. And I believe when you read the example in the red line in the picture, you can understand what is tafsir fiqh. So number three is tafsir bil ma'thur, which is Al-Quran with Al-Quran, Al-Quran with Hadith, Al-Quran with Sahabah Qaul, Al-Quran with Tabi'in Qaul. Right. That's for tafsir category. Next, we will talk about the sources of interpretation in Imam Al-Qurtubi Tafsir. And of course, Al-Quran and Sunnah and the others are the main sources of interpretation. Other than that, opinions of scholars fiqh like Ash-Shafi'i, Maliki, and the others. And then brings majority opinion and earlier scholars from his reference work. Opinion of English scholars, including Arab poetry, like Qala Ash-Sha'ir, you know that. And the last one, opinion of Ahl Ma'thur and Ahl. That's four sources of interpretation.
Okay, my name is Faiz Zuhdi. We continue with choices chapter, the interpretation of Surah Al-Fatihah. In Arabic, qira'atu Surah Al-Fatihah. This chapter that's contain four chapter. الباب الأول في فضائلها وأسمائها ومعانيها وفيه 7 مسائل. الباب الثاني في نزولها وأحكامها وفيه 20 مسألة. الباب الثالث في التأمين وفيه 8 مسائل. الباب الرابع فيما قدمته الفاتحة من المعاني والقراءات والإعراب وفضل الحاملين وفيه 36 مسألة. هذا في هذا الباب. Next, I choose the problem from the الباب الثاني في نزولها وأحكامها وفيه 20 مسألة. I choose المسألة الخامسة. واختلف العلماء في وجوب قراءة الفاتحة في الصلاة، فقال مالك وأصحابه هي متعينة للإمام والمنفرد في كل ركعة. يعني there were different opinions among ulama about recitation of Al-Fatiha. Imam Malik and his followers said he must recite Al-Fatiha every rak'ah when become Imam or when Salat alone. قال ابن جويس منداد المصري المالكي لم يختلف قول مالك أنه من نسيها في ركعة من صلاة ركعتين أن صلاته تبطل ولا تجزيه. يعني ابن Juwais Mandad he said that he did not oppose Imam Malik's opinion, which is whoever forget to recite Al-Fatiha in one rakaat from two rakaat, for example subuh sunnah prayer, if this happen, solat is considered batal and not sah. واختلفوا قوله ناسيا في ركعة من صلاة رباعية أو ثلاثية، فقال مرة يعيد الصلاة وقال مرة أخرى يسجد سجدتي السهو، وهي رواية ابن عبد الحكم وغيره عن مالك. قال ابن جويس منداد وقد قيل إنه يعيد تلك الركعة ويسجد للسهو بعد السلام. They were different in his opinion with Imam Malik in a situation where we forgot to recite Al-Fatiha in a Salat that have 3 to 4 rak'ah. Example, Asar, Zuhur and Isha. Imam Malik said to just repeat the Salat. Ibn Juwais said that we need to repeat raka'at only and perform sujud sahwi after salam. قال ابن عبد البر الصحيح من القول إلقاء تلك الركعة ويأتي بركعة بدلا منها كمن أسقط السجدة سواء، وهو اختيار ابن القاسم. Ibn Abdul Bar said the Sahih among those opinions is the rak'ah is considered batal, and we have to come out with another rak'ah to replace the rak'ah. That was the opinion of Ibn Abdul Bar. وقال الحسن البصري وأكثر أهل البصرة والمغيرة بن عبد الرحمن المخزومي المدني إذا قرأ بأم القرآن مرة واحدة في الصلاة أجزاه ولم يكن عليه إعادة لأنها صلاة قد قرأ فيها بأم القرآن وهي التامة، لقوله عليه السلام لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بأم القرآن وهذا قد قرأ بها. Hasan al-Basri said, if someone recite the mother of the Quran and one does the prayer, it's soft and do not have to repeat it because it is a prayer in which he has recited the mother of the Quran and is complete. وهي لقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بأم القرآن. هذا من الحسن البصري من هذا رأي. قلت ويحتمل لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بها في كل ركعة وهو صحيح على ما يأتي، ويحتمل لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بها في أكثر عدد الركعات. هذا هو سبب الخلاف والله أعلم. Possibly that Imam Qurtubi said there is no prayer with those who did not recite it every rak'ah, and is a sahih according to the following. That means salah is batal if someone not recite Al-Fatiha in every rak'ah. That is a sahih from the ويحتمل أخرى وهو another possibly لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بها في أكثر عدد الركعات وهو هذا وسبب الخلاف والله أعلم. That means there is no prayer for those who have not recited in the most rak'ahs number, and this is the reason for the different opinion. That means the salah is batal if someone don't recite it in most rak'ah, in the most for example, if someone that salat in 4 rak'ah, 4 rak'ah prayer, that they they uh, they recite in 3 rak'ah. As maybe in the salat. Next, وقال أبو حنيفة والثوري والأوزاعي إن ترك عامدا في صلاته كلها وقرأ غيرها جزاه على اختلاف عن الأوزاعي في ذلك. In this opinion, they said if someone left to recite the Fatiha in كل ركعة في that in the salah every ركعة recite the another surah or ayah in the saw and it's okay, and then that's enough, or that's enough. That this is their opinion, the three of the Abu Hanifa والثوري والأوزاعي. وقال أبو يوسف ومحمد بن الحسن أقله 3 آيات أو آيات طويلة كآية الدين. Abu Yusuf or Muhammad ibn Hasan said that at least 3 verses of ayah or long verses of ayah, such as the verses ayah today or ayah min ayah today you know about surah al-Baqarah. I think that surah dain fi this wali tawil, surah is wali tawil. That's in the opinion of Abu Yusuf Muhammad. They say this is okay. That's 3 ayah or ayah tawilatun min al-Quran. وعن محمد بن الحسن أيضا قال أسوق الاجتهاد في مقدار آية ومقدار كلمات مفهومة نحو الحمد لله ولا أسوقه في حرف لا يكون كلاما. Muhammad bin Hassan said that I just justify ijtihad in the amount of ayah and the amount of the word understood. Example, وَلَوْسَوِّيَهُ فِي حَرْفِ لَيَكُونُ كَلَامًا, and I do not just justify it in a letter that is not words. That's the Muhammad bin Hassan opinion, that he justify in the amount of the ayah and the amount of the kalimah that understood. The word is understood in the recitation of the qira'ah in the salah. That the Muhammad bin Hassan. وقال الطبري يقرأ المصلي بأم القرآن في كل ركعة فإن لم يقرأ بها لم يجزه إلا مثلها من القرآن عدد آيها وحروفها. Imam Tabari said that someone when supposed to salah must be recite the Al-Fatiha in every raka'ah. If someone do not recite it the same in the Quran, in the amount of it and kalimah, the word, the same in the Quran is not sah. That's the Imam Tabari. وقال ابن عبد البر وهذا لا معنى له إن التعيين لها والنص عليها قد قصها بهذا الحكم دون غيرها ومحال أن يجيء البدل منها من وجب عليها فتركها وهو قادر عليها وإنما عليه أن يجيء بها ويعود إليها كسائر المفروضات المتعينات في العبادة. Ibn Abdul said this not make sense because the appointment of it and the stipulation of it have been assigned to this ruling exclusively, and it's impossible for him or for someone to come in exchange for it from whoever is obligated to. So, if for someone that left the recite the Fatiha, in the case that he can recite it and Qadir recite it, or can recite it, and he must recite it, and just because there's and he must recite it, and this is a very most needed in the salah. Uh, for example, in the mafruda المتعينة في العبادة فرض تعيين في العبادة في العبادة مثل المفروض مثل الصلوات في في تحية الأخير يعني مثل هذا مثل هذا. That's opinion of Ibn Abdul Bar. This all from me. I hope you all my classmates can understand our presentation in this, maybe this slide and this audio that maybe come we are very difficult to speak English, and I hope you understand what I present to you, and you have a question, you can ask me from in the group WhatsApp, and that's all for me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
And for the last chapter or topic that we want to talk or discuss is about what special about this tafsir. Actually, we had mentioned it before in earlier discussions, but we made a special slide for you and to ease you. So what is special about this tafsir? He has compiled many verses of Quran, the Hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the call from the Sahaba, Tabi'in, and later generation in this interpretation. And also discussion faith widely discussed. Okay, widely discussed and facilitate study of specific issues from the different perspective of scholars faith and mazhab. And from the discussion to head make a research and choose the better one called. This tafsir had dalil Naqli and Aqidu, tafsir does not abandon Arab element Mansur, poetry and Arabic literature. And for the last one, he consistently in his methodology about his tafsir until we can understand more clearly and easily. So just for me actually special thing about this tafsir, but we mentioned this only, but you can see the eye special when you read the tafsir by yourself. So the important thing is he consistently in his methodology about his tafsir until you can understand more clearly and easily. So that's all from us. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. Thank you so much.